Hey everybody, welcome to Combat Saturday for August 22nd, 2020. I'm your host, DM Gallibond. Alright everyone, today on Combat Saturday we are going to take a look at more futuristic weapons. In fact, we're going to look at laser guns. Laser guns are things that have been around from time to time in several different editions of D&D. However, um, 5th edition with D&D Beyond is the only one that actually has it in kind of um, the core books. So let's go ahead and take a look at the laser rifle and the laser pistol, both of these respectively. We'll start with the laser rifle. It's a firearm, classified as a firearm, a ranged weapon, weighs several pounds, and, note to DMs, completely up to you if you're going to have a futuristic setting, anything like that. If you go back to some of the uh, classic D&D campaigns, I'm thinking of things like the Expedition to the Barrier Peaks from back in original D&D days, or perhaps it was AD&D days that came out. There was a crashed spaceship that was in a high mountain range, and your party would go there, and they interacted with a lot of things. There was robots on that ship, and there was all kinds of futuristic technology, including some laser weapons that were there. And just like magical weapons in the day, they had a energy cell, or which gave them charges, quote unquote charges. And so those charges would be depleted, and once you used up those charges, back in those days, items didn't regain charges overnight like they normally do in 5th edition. They just were depleted, and you had to go and you had to find, um, you had to either expend the magical energy or somehow do something to restore the energy of those items. So, laser rifle does radiant damage. So that's how they explain it in D&D terms. Is the laser beam is radiant damage, and it has the ammunition tag. But of course, it doesn't tell you what the ammunition is. So this kind of gives the DM a little bit of leeway on it. Actually, we're going to look at something in a few minutes, and we're going to see if they give us any kind of cues or ideas of what the ammunition would be. So we're going to go ahead and look at the laser pistol now. And the laser pistol deals 3d6 radiant damage, has a shorter range, and weighs 2 pounds. The laser rifle deals 3d8 radiant damage, weighs 7 pounds, and has a significantly longer range. We're going to go and take a look at equipment here. And let's do laser. Okay. So reload 50 shots, reload 30 shots. So the pistol gives you 30 shots. The rifle will give you pistol will give you 50 shots. The rifle will give you 30 shots. Okay, and let's take a look at the. No, that doesn't give us the. Okay, there we go. Ammunition of a firearm is destroyed upon use. Renaissance and modern firearms use bullets. Futuristic firearms are powered by a special type of ammunition called energy cells. Energy cell contains enough power for all the shots its firearm can make. So basically, then you'd have to figure out, well, how would somebody recharge the energy cell? Maybe your campaign is one where there's technology hanging around. Maybe you have to go into some sort of arcane or artificer lab and figure out something that will um, create magical energy to recharge these cells. Maybe because it uses radiant energy, and that is energy basically that's associated with starlight. Um, maybe you maybe somebody kind of figures out, oh, well, we can build something that collects energy from the sun or from the stars at night, and will recharge these energy cells over time. And then it would be like, well, how many days or how many nights would it take to recharge the energy cells, so that you could reuse these weapons once you have depleted all of the shots that it takes. So, kind of an interesting thing here. And then, of course, uh, you look at uh, the fact that it deals pretty good damage compared to most handheld weapons. Um, Better than bows and arrows, better than crossbows for the most part. 3d6 for the pistol, 3d8, up to 24 damage for the rifle. And then, of course, because you're rolling damage and it's an attack, if you get sneak attack damage, like for a rogue using one of these things, then you do that. Now, um, there's also an interesting thing. The properties, it doesn't say anything about who is able to use these. So, and like you say, it's up to you to decide whether a character has proficiency with a firearm. Now, maybe what you would do is maybe you would say that, okay, the first, um, there's two ways to play this. If you're the nice DM, if you're the neutral DM, or if you're the mean DM. So I guess that's actually three ways to play this. If you're the nice DM, you can say, all right, well, you have proficiency with bows or crossbows, so you basically know how ranged weapons work. You understand that, yeah, I'm going to say that you can figure out the sights on this thing, and that I'm just going to give you proficiency with it. The neutral DM, I think, would say, all right, you found this, and it's got an energy cell. And yeah, let's say that cell is full. We'll just be nice and say that cell is full. You found this laser pistol. The laser pistol energy cell is going to give you 50 shots. So I'm going to say, as the DM, as the neutral DM, for your first 20 shots with that, you have disadvantage. Why? Because you're not used to this thing. You're used to ranged weapons that require you to hold it with both hands. Now here's something you hold in one hand, and it's weird. It doesn't feel like a bow. It doesn't feel like a crossbow. It's very alien in uh, the way it fits your hand and how it works. So it's going to take you a few shots with this to kind of zone in on proficiency. Okay, then maybe after 20 shots, okay, now you've kind of figured out how this works. Now you can go ahead and roll normally. And then maybe after another 10 shots, so now that you've fired 30 shots with this, okay, now you can go ahead and give yourself your proficiency bonus. And that would mimic the first 20, you're unfamiliar with the weapon, can't figure out how it works. The next 10, okay, I've now I figured out how it works, and now my aim is getting a little bit better with it. And then the last 20 shots of the energy cell, okay, now you can use it with your full proficiency bonus. If you're the mean DM, you say, all right, 25 shots out of the first energy cell, you get disadvantage. The second 25 shots, you make a normal attack roll, but you can't have your proficiency bonus. After you've fired this weapon 50 times, okay, now you're familiar enough with it that you can get a proficient. You can use your proficiency bonus with it. But I only have one energy cell. Oh, that's too bad. You'll just have to figure out a way to either find another energy cell or how you're going to recharge that so that you can actually use your proficiency bonus with it. So once again, that's the nice DM, that's kind of the neutral DM, and that's the mean DM. Okay, way of approaching letting your players use these. And of course, if you decide to throw these into your campaign, you cannot throw them into your campaign and then tell the players, oh, well, you can't use them. Well, why'd you put them there? If you're not going to let the players use them, you gotta let them use them. If you're gonna put it out, it can't just be cool window dressing. It's gotta be something that's functional, or else it doesn't belong in the game. Okay, it's like Chekhov's pistol. If you see that pistol sitting on that desk in Act 1, you know that sometime before the end of Act 3, it's going to be used. All right. Well, that is going to do it for our discussion of the laser guns in this edition of Combat Saturday. If you like what we're doing here on this channel, please subscribe, like the video, click the post notification bell so that you get notified every time a new video drops on the channel. And if you have used futuristic weapons in your campaign, either as a player or as a DM, go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know how that worked out. Oh, is your entire campaign set kind of in a futuristic thing, or were you in an area that there are futuristic weapons and then you somehow brought some of those back to the rest of your campaign? I'm running a really interesting campaign right now on Sundays where we are traveling to a bunch of the different planes of Magic the Gathering. So there's all kinds of different things that they're running into, all sorts of different monsters, all sorts of different creatures and spells and all that other kind of fun stuff. And items and things, you know, all taken out of the Magic the Gathering game. So I'm kind of, running into a lot of situations where I'm using things that, yeah, they've probably been used in D&D games before, but maybe not ever quite used the way I'm using them because I'm taking the item out of um, Magic the Gathering, and I am converting it for use in my particular homebrew D&D game, which is different than your homebrew D&D game, or her homebrew D&D game, or his homebrew D&D game, or that homebrew D&D game way over there. Every DM, every party is different, no matter what the level. So if you're homebrewing stuff, the level that you need to make the power, the toughness, the the 2-hit bonus, the hit points, the AC of stuff is all going to be different because every party is different, and every party approaches the game a different way, and every DM approaches the game a different way. All right, well, that's going to do it. Thank you, everybody, for dropping by. Hope you have a wonderful week. Please take a look at more of the videos that we have here on the channel. Hope we see you back here again real soon. And with that, I'll say good night, everybody.